Hey, Wanderers.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Ron.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Jacqueline.
Welcome to Wanderlost.
Okay, so this is a new series where we are interviewing people about travels that they have taken in their lives. And also, if you don't recognize, these people over here, I have to point a different way. These are my parents. My mother was in some Tasty Tuesday videos with me back in December. And I think Daddy did a taste test in one of those videos. So they've been in videos before. But we're specifically talking about a trip that we all took in April of 2017. So where do we go?
So we went to Normandy. The Transatlantic Council for the Boy Scouts of America every 3 years does a camporee on Normandy there to celebrate the history of the D-Day landings. And so we just happened to be stationed in Spain at the time when it happened, and we were going to go. And so we invited Jim and Jacqueline to come over and visit, and we all traveled together. It would have been 6 of us to Paris.
There were 7 of us.
7 of us. See, I don't do math. So we all traveled together. There were 7 of us. We went to Paris, France, and on to Normandy, and stayed there for the weekend, and then came back.
So we have some pictures. There's not very much video, but we're going to go through the pictures and talk about anything that happened on the trip. So we also want to give tips for people who are taking the trip. So if y'all want to share any tips or anything, you can do that while we're going through the thing. And also, number 2, we should say at the very beginning when we start the share, you guys had already been in Spain for like a week. Okay, so this is the night before we fly out. You can see in the background, there are lots of suitcases back here. And because everybody brought those tiny suitcases everywhere we went in Europe. And like I said, Mama was sick, and we convinced her to put oil on her feet.
Essential oils, y'all.
Right, essential oils on her feet to try to make her feel better. She did not like how they smell. And there's Price and there's Ron. So did the oils work, Mama?
No, the smell made me sicker than I was before.
All right, there are all of our suitcases. We're getting ready to leave. What is this? It's clearly Daddy eating.
That's me eating something.
It's probably one of those pastry things at the airport.
It was definitely at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are on the plane. There's me and the boys. And then a sleeping boy. There's Daddy reading. And there's out the plane window. I always do that. I don't know why. You can't tell where you are or what you're taking pictures of.
Hey, y'all, there's a wing.
Right.
Well, we're evidently coming into something or going out of something because you can see the land.
That's when we got into Paris there.
Yeah, so Daddy took this picture at the airport. All I remember about being in the airport is that Mama was so sick that she almost passed out. And I thought, we're never going to make it to our rental car because our rental car ended up not even being at the airport.
No, it was not. It was a good ways from the airport.
So how did we get there?
It was shuttle.
Okay, well, here we are waiting for them to bring the rental car around. This is at the rental car place. There's sick Mama sitting inside the rental car place, waiting for the car to get there because she couldn't stand outside with us. Yeah. She was too sick to even stand outside while we waited on the
So this is like
car.
at 9 o'clock at night outside of Paris.
It was really late at night.
We landed the day of...
there was a shooting
in Paris.
Right
there.
there.
The night we landed.
We didn't know anything about it though until later.
I remember her telling us that.
So this was in our place at Normandy. We got there so late.
Yeah. All right. So back up. One more. So we tried to rent a vehicle for 7 people. Mm-hmm. Which is basically impossible in Europe.
Right.
They don't exist. Technically, this sat 7 people, but we were on top of each other. And thank God, all we had brought were these little bitty bags because they
Right.
were stuffed in every corner. But we landed, got the car, and drove to Normandy and arrived far after the normal time that you could get into the bungalows. We'd rented a bungalow, which you could do if you wanted to. And thank God we finally got a hold of people who let us into the bungalow at like midnight.
Yeah, but do y'all remember we had to our bags?
We had to upgrade our car at that point because the first car they showed us, we could not get in.
That's right. That's right.
And I'll tell you another thing about it. If anybody is planning to go to Europe anywhere, they have economy cars. They only have economy cars.
Right.
Everything is tiny.
Right. So we finally got all of us in there, but I remember that they wouldn't let us drive through the area because it was after quiet time or whatever.
Right.
So we had to park and drag our suitcases like a long way to get to the bungalow. And anyway, this is a chair in the bungalow that I must have thought was cute.
So that's a map of Paris. There's the Arc de Triomphe.
Oh yeah, okay.
So the back of the
and
chair
I see the Eiffel Tower.
is a layout of Paris. It's kind of cool.
So yeah, so that was at our table. We didn't get very many pictures. This is why we couldn't drive our car in because all these people were sleeping in tents.
Also, that area right there that doesn't have anything in it, the next day we woke up and it was full of tents right there. Do you remember that? We went to sleep and there were really, or maybe it was the day before, there was nothing hardly there. The next day we get up and when I look out, it's nothing but tents. I mean,
Yeah, so
tent after tent.
we had the option to tent camp. Like Ron said, this was because it was a Boy Scout event. And so, I mean, that's why we were there. But we decided we all wanted to stay in the bungalow, which was tiny. And with 7 of us in that bungalow, it was really cramped. And Mama was still so sick that I spent the next morning, wandering around camp, trying to find the nurse and find out about going to a French hospital because I thought she has to go. She couldn't eat anything. She kept getting sick. It was just sicker and sicker. And there was the beach from the outside of our bungalow, right? You could see down.
Yes.
That little bit of brown, yes, is the
Yeah,
beach.
the tiny bit of beach. Here we are all around the table. Those chairs, everybody looks happy, don't we?
I'm sorry. This really makes me feel bad.
It was only the first 2 days that jacked us up. So this is driving. We're driving like into the town.
Yeah.
And they had really pretty flowers. I don't know why somebody took 3 pictures of them. I'm going to guess that was me.
That is oleo or something like that. It's oh my gosh. They make it into oil.
Oleander, I think.
We should have gone out there and made you rub around in it and see if that made it feel better. This is us just driving. Oh, through the little town that was nearby. We were trying to find a grocery store because we didn't have any food. Oh, this is a video. Here we go. Oh, it's a time-lapse video of driving through the town. That was the whole town.
Hey, Mom.
But don't you remember on the side of those buildings were pictures put up there about the war, about
what they look like during the invasion and what they are
Oh,
now.
yeah, and then what they look like. That's right. There's one of the buildings right there with the pictures.
One of the museums.
I couldn't believe I didn't get any pictures of that.
Apparently, we spent a lot of time around this table the first day. I was doing a puzzle book, which you can see in a minute. Oh, this is the toast. Now, they did not have a toaster, and Mama had decided that maybe she could eat some toast without getting sick. So Daddy has, I don't even know if we can see it. I wish I could zoom in, but I don't even know how to do that. But, oh, wait, nope, I can't zoom in. So he had taken a burner. It wasn't a burner. I don't know what it was. And wedged a fork in it and put the piece of toast on top of it and held it up there above the thing like that. There's a closer picture of it.
That's what you call love.
And so he toasted her this piece of toast. Here she has, first of all, there's a picture of her holding up the piece of toast. I don't know where that is, but here we are. At least we're smiling. You're actually sitting up at the table even though you're still sick. and eating your toast. This is a panoramic view of the beach.
Yeah, I think I took that.
Oh, there's the toast.
I got it a little overdone in spots.
It looks like it has a baseball imprint on it. But at least you ate it and you didn't get sick. This was your first day of eating food and not getting sick. So that was great. Now we're down on the beach. This is the main memorial area. They have a couple, right?
Yeah.
A few different memorial areas. There's Mama eating again. I guess we were so excited that she was keeping food down that I kept taking pictures. Now that is when to walk down to the beach. I remember that it was a pretty good walk, like pretty steep. You had to go downhill to get down there to the beach.
Mhm.
From where
Yeah, the campground was up on the bluff above the beach.
that would have been one of the structures.
Yeah, there were quite a few of these structures along the beach area and a big pier. Everybody's wearing jackets. This was
It was
April.
cold.
What?
It was really cold.
Yeah,
I guess it was cool. Somebody made the kids all pose to get their pictures made. We did not get out in the water. That water was really cold, but there were a lot of kids that kept going out there.
Yeah.
That is the road coming down.
That's where
Right there. We
walked.
stayed up here and you had to walk down here to get down to the beach. That's the other monument. 1st U.S. Infantry Division. No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great.
Mm-hmm. Fords on Omaha Beach.
That's the back side of that monument.
Yeah.
And it says, for respect, please don't climb on this thing. That's the one thing I remember, is there was a little boy climbing on it. He was not little. He was like 6 or 7. He was older than that.
No.
He was a scout. So he was like 8 or 9. And
Yes,
I said, you're not supposed to be climbing on that. And he turned and looked at me right in my face and said, you're not my mother. I was like, I said, well, how about you tell me where she is and let's go talk to her. And he said, she's not here. And he ran away. You can see how tall they are right there. There's Wesley right in the middle. How old was he? 9? He was got to be around 9 because we left when he was 10.
That's the other side of that monument.
Erected in memory of those. That
Okay.
is English.
Okay. And there y'all are.
Yes.
Oh, it's written above in French and below in English. The Allied forces landing on this shore, which they
Called Omaha Beach.
liberate Europe. June 6th, 1947. 44. I knew it wasn't 47 anyway.
Oh, he's got those Iron Man glasses. I forgot
Yeah.
they had.
I'm just taking pictures of other people taking pictures, apparently.
That's my daughter.
So that's talking about that sculpture that we saw out there. The Wings of Hope, it says.
Rise, freedom, and the wings of fraternity.
So everything is in French and English. But this guy was the ambassador of the United States, Howard Leach. Landmark of the landings of June 6, 1944. So all along that, or in that area, you could see this kind of stuff that was like just telling you what happened there.
There's the 7-passenger van that we rented.
Well, it held us all. That's true.
Barely.
We were close company.
And then we went to the museum, Overlord Museum.
And this museum is awesome.
It is awesome. That was where it went, took it frame by frame almost to
Well,
show
also,
you.
it was the first time, the first day, I think, that you actually felt good, not just not sick, but.
Right. And I could walk, so we got up and walked all around it, and it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like mannequins, it's not a great museum for you.
Yeah, the boys are scared of mannequins. Look at him being scared in this picture. That's hilarious.
Reminds me a lot of the Marine Corps Museum that's outside DC. How it kind of walks you through piece by piece. So this was kind of cool. for the scout thing, they had invited some folks who did reenactment stuff like that. So they were outside of where the kind of the main building with the scout stuff, where they had the shop and where you registered and everything. They had these guys out there, and you could hold the equipment. You could sit. They had a Jeep out there. They had tents set up where what it would have looked like for the people who were participating in the invasion. So another boys' night out. I think you.
I didn't go.
Jim, did you go with on
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was just me and Jim and the boys.
Yeah, I didn't go to that thing, to this. Look at that face. All
He's
squished.
ready. He is ready to go.
So that was inside the tent. Look what it would look like, and there's a camp kitchen.
Nice. That's the walk down to the beach.
Yeah.
See, I like how it looks like that. The waves in the sand. And then look what I did. Oh, horseshoes. I didn't do that. But I found it like I was tracking a wild animal or something, and it was just a horse. But,
That's a good picture.
yeah,
Well,
that's
the water,
bluffs.
the water is not very deep right there because, you know, they had a tractor with a boat trailer on the back of it, and they would drive out in that water with those boats to where they could float and then, you know, drive the tractor back up on the beach.
Right, because
And then they would go out there and pick the
And
boats
I'm
up
sure,
and
I'm
bring them
sure
back.
y'all never noticed that, but he would have noticed it.
But there's a nice shot down along the beach. The beach seemed almost muddy. Like you could, I think those are the tractors right there that you were talking about.
That looks like a sinkhole right there.
It's just like a muddy part on the beach. But you can just see forever and ever. I mean, there were a lot of people there, but not out on the beach. It's not like a hangout beach.
Well,
I did a back panorama of the
bluff.
The people in that town were really nice, though, that we were around.
yeah.
Most of them may have been tourists or Boy Scouts there, but
Right. Okay. So this is when I took the boys down there. We always do this wherever we go. And I see that. So this means China and then Ron, Amanda, Wesley, and Price. And I see that somebody put an M and a P for Mama and Papa. They added it. But anytime we're at a beach anywhere, we always write that. So. Okay. So here come my cool photos. I thought they were before now, but they're not yet. There we go. So this one is nothing, but this one right here, I convinced him to hold his arm up like he was being picked up. And so I tried to make it look like I was picking him up, but it didn't really work. So, okay, now where are y'all going?
So we would have been going down to the actual formal ceremony down on the beach. So we were all in uniform.
And I didn't go to this, or I got there at the end, I think.
No, I don't think you went to this part. We all went down for something later where they had the food and everything.
Okay.
you went, didn't you?
Oh, look at those glasses. Are those Iron Man glasses? Okay. He wore those everywhere, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Explain about prices.
Oh, why he has so many things on his neck.
So in Europe, the scouts like to trade neckerchiefs. So every scout has a neckerchief. So they like to trade them. And so I think we took a bunch of extra ones that we had because we knew that from our time in Switzerland. So like he has a whole bunch. I have a drawer full from when we were at Condersteg. But that's what they do. In the U.S., a lot of it's mainly trading patches. They do some of that in Europe, but really it's trading
all the neckerchiefs are the same in the U.S.
Well, no, but the scouting programs are different. So they won't be a BSA scouting. So they have very unique neckerchiefs.
Yeah, so it says what country they're from or something like that on their neckerchiefs. So they trade them with everybody. And there's a picture in a minute of the back of one of the boys, and you can see it better. I think this was a house that I liked that we walked by when we were going somewhere. I don't remember where we were going. We were going to the ceremony.
We were going on the beach, and that house was actually turned into a hospital at that time, and they took care of the wounded soldiers there.
Yeah, we couldn't park down by the beach, so we had to park further down, and we walked by this house. There it is. That says Wakefield District Scouts, Normandy, 2017. So he traded and got that from one of the other guys. Now, this is where they were serving paella, right? It was giant things of it. We thought it was hilarious that we had come from Spain to Normandy to eat a Spanish dish.
So this was Sunday morning. That was all Saturday that we just looked at.
Yeah,
Sunday.
this was, that's the only picture we have of, of the food.
But on Sunday at the cemetery that's there, where most of the people who died in the invasion, they had a full ceremony that Sunday morning, which I know me and the boys, and I think Jim went to. I don't think any of you guys went to that either. So there's a ceremony, and we walked around the cemetery some.
That was the ceremony. Mm-hmm. So this shows the landing, and it says the development of the beachhead and the landing, and like how it all was planned and what happened.
So the colors are different time frames.
And then that was where we camped.
Yeah.
So that's when we were leaving. So then we have to say, we were driving back to Paris. We're including this part, even though it's not part of the vacation. But we were driving back to Paris because we were supposed to go back and spend 3 days in Paris. But we were still worried about Mama. So when she was still super sick, we called and asked about getting the flight moved back. So instead of staying 3 days in Paris, we had one afternoon in Paris. So we all decided, what do we want to see in Paris? Of course, it was the Eiffel Tower. And so we kind of wrote down how we could drive around Paris and see Notre Dame and the Arch. And what else? Was there anything else we wanted to see?
I don't remember.
So we made sure we could drive by those places. So there's the Arch, which we drove by there. It's really pretty.
We drove by the Louvre also.
Oh, that's right. We drove by the Louvre.
I think that was just a pretty building.
I was going to say, there's probably just random pictures of pretty buildings. This was when we parked to walk to the Eiffel Tower. So we had to go to Starbucks and get our Paris cup. And then we got to the Eiffel Tower. There are a lot of pictures of the Eiffel Tower. There's y'all's selfie in front of it. There's our selfie in front of it. I'm still drinking my Starbucks because I have to wait for it to not be hot. So now we're just driving by, like, there. There's the better picture of it. We have a video. Hold on. This might be going in front of the Louvre. Let me see. We're turning. Okay, maybe not. You will arrive at your destination. She's talking to us. Yeah, there it is. And that was it. That was all. Then what? Then we have what? Some kind of French little taxi thing I was trying to get a picture of? I don't know. And then there's nope. There's Notre Dame. I was like, wait, hold on.
The two pictures ago was, but from
a different place. So yeah, because then we drove around behind it, right? And so that's pre-fire. I don't know what it looks like now, and we didn't, this was as close as we got. We were just driving by. And then we went to the airport. I got a lot of pictures of that one thing, and that's it. That's all the pictures. We drove to the airport and flew home. So we want to know, number one, what your favorite part was now that we've gone back over everything. So I think my favorite part was the first time that I walked down the thing and went onto the beach.
So for me, I think it was the museum. I loved that Overlord Museum. With all the info that was in it.
I know. I wish we would have thought like a YouTuber and written down like how much it cost and all that stuff. We didn't do that then.
All right, Jim.
Mine was going to the beach for the first time too. It was
emotional.
You can't, because I knew people, that were there.
Mine was going to the beach. When you put your feet on the same place that they fought for your freedom, it's just, and plus when we closed up Mother's house, Daddy's uniform was still there. So it was something about, knowing that my daddy lived back in that time, and he never got to see action, but he was Army Air Corps. So it was so moving to go back, and it's just like going back to history to see what people have done for you and for your freedom that you have today. It was so many people died that day on that beach, and you can't go on there without feeling the emotion.
So what would you, if money was no issue, would you go back again?
Yes, but I would stay about a week instead of a weekend.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I thought
But we
the same
didn't
thing.
see half of what was there to be seen, in the different museums and exhibits and just everything.
But the reality,
And I am forever grateful that I got to go with y'all. And what was funny to me was that whenever we were in Spain and Mama had already come to visit us alone, and I thought, Daddy's never going to come visit us. And Ron messaged me or called me one day from work or something, and he's like, there's a scout thing in Normandy in April. Do you want to go? Like, could we go to France to do it? And I was like, absolutely. And then I thought, I'm calling my parents. And so I called. I didn't even talk to Mama. I was like, I need to talk to Daddy. And so Daddy got on the phone. I was like, Daddy, there is a scout thing in April. And if y'all come over here and visit, then we can go to Normandy and stay on the beach. And he was like, okay, we'll come. And I was like, what? Like, I couldn't believe that he said yes. And I was so excited. So for anybody out there, tip, if you're somewhere and you want your parents to come visit, find something that they really like and then invite them to come there. To see.
well,
Just don't go with your daughter and her friends, and they get you to have to sleep on the park bench at night.
Okay, that's another story for another time. When we went to Africa, and when we came back across into Spain, our car had been towed, and we thought we couldn't get it out of the prison. Not prison, really, but it was taken by the police officers, and we did not think we could get it out. But okay, well, we're glad that y'all were here, and somebody needs to say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, and then,
Ring the bell.
And ring the bell.
oh my gosh. Okay, bye.
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 Okay.
Okay, and then y'all can say welcome to Wanderlost. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Ron, you go first. Make sure you enunciate and don't laugh like I always do.
Right. This usually takes at least 3 to 4 times to get through on this side.
Okay, so tell me what you can see on the screen.
I see the boys.
Walking through the house.
No, they're sitting in, one of them's walking, one of them's sitting in a chair.
That's not a boy.
That's your mama.
Oh, my Lord.